Hello everybody, welcome to the United Stand. I'm Mark Goldbridge and here we are again, Manchester United against Crystal Palace. Fasten your seatbelts, God only knows what mood they're going to put us in today, what they're going to subject us to. I'm not happy with that team news. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I did the preview on Thursday. I'd be a massive hypocrite if I said, oh, I'm really happy with that team. He's done exactly what I thought he would do. He's basically picked the same team and brought Dalot back in. It's difficult. It's really difficult for me to be behind this manager at the moment. And that's honestly how I feel. I'm absolutely fuming with him. But I've seen this movie before and I wouldn't be surprised if we get a win. And at the end of the day, ultimately, that's the only thing I want. I want Manchester United to win. But I'm absolutely fuming with him. And not only because of the team he's picked, but the way that he's thrown Dorgu under the bus publicly. I just don't know who this guy is. I'm so disgusted with what he said about Dorgu. I find it incredible to do that to a 21-year-old like he did Yoro. What is this guy doing? Like, he's literally come out and basically said Dorgu's shit. He's good for his international team, but he's crap for me. He dropped Yoro for 2 games because of Bruno. He doesn't speak like this about Bruno or about Maguire or about Luke Shaw or about Casemiro. But kids, yeah, he'll go right in on them. I'm absolutely fuming. I've got to say, I'm absolutely fuming. And I find it very confusing because, as you know, I can say the words Amrim out. I'm not fearful of saying the words Amrim out. Amrim out. If you want me to say it, I'll say it. But I'm not Amrim out. And I don't see why people get so obsessed with Amrim in, Amrim out, because there's a lot of people who are Amrim out this morning who will be Amrim in 2 hours if we win 3-0. So like, I don't actually think there's a lot of what do you call it, sort of kudos in saying, oh, I'm Amrim in, or I'm Amrim out. But I'm Amrim angry. I'm really angry with that team. I mean, look, I just want to say this in as calm a way as I can because we'll probably win. Because the definition of inconsistency is that sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. That's what inconsistency is. This team's never going to be that bad that they don't win games, but they're never going to be that good that they're consistent. And that Everton performance on Monday was disgraceful to the shirt of Manchester United. And he's basically gone and picked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of the team that shat all over the shirt on Monday night gets picked again. And I find that disgraceful. I agree with Andy Atherton and his super chat. He says, this lineup is disgraceful. Thoughts on trying Cunha as an attacking lift wing back like Ahmad that allows us to play Bruno at 10 and Mainu CM. Sure, Dalot, forget it. Well, Cunha can't play anyway, Andy, because he's out. But that is a disgrace to me. You know what that says to me? The only 2 players he's taken out are Mazraoui and Dorgu. Well, Mazraoui's coming back from injury and Dorgu's a kid. He's a bottle job. He doesn't dare drop any senior player. There's no senior player dropped there. After Man City, it was Yoro. He's a bottle job. I'm calling it out. He's a bloody bottle job. He is run by the dressing room. That's my indication this morning because I have never known in any level of football, whether it's pub football, five-a-side football or Premier League football, when a team does what it did on Monday and shit all over the shirt and the manager, and he goes, same again, lads. Same again on Sunday. I mean, there are literally players on the bench he could use. I'm looking at the bench and I'm like, so he could have used Heaven. He could have brought Heaven in. He could have brought Mainu in. He could have brought Martinez in. He could have brought Ugarte in, especially in the midfield as well. I just find it unpalatable how little change is made to that team because effectively, look, I expected Mason Mount to come in. There is no Cunha. It makes sense to put Ahmad back to right wing back. And we all know that his bloody great cousin Dalot was going to come in. I mean, that's a family tree thing, isn't it? Heritage. But no changes to any of the centre backs. No changes to the midfield. I just don't know what message he's sending out that he's basic. I spoke about this all week. The standards at this football club are in the mud. Like, it's now acceptable to get beaten by 10 men Everton and then pick the same players. There is no accountability at this football club anymore. You know, I've seen David Beckham get dropped for being late to training. You know, one of our best players. I've seen Roy Keane get booted out the club for saying something on MUTV. You know, we've seen Jaap Stam got rid of, one of the best centre-backs in the world, because he fell out with a couple of the players. And yet now you can shit all over Old Trafford and you'll be in the team in the following game. Look, as I say, it doesn't constitute saying let's sack the manager. That's not what I'm saying. But like, this is the niche we're talking about. I find that a disgusting message to say, I'm not going to change the team. And look, you can say what you like about Mainu and Agate, but if they can't get game time when Bruno and Casemiro are doing what they did on Monday, what's the bloody point? I'm fuming about it. I really am. Leadership team manages this squad, says Cryptical. Well, I think they do. Thoughts on... Look, at the very least, if we win today, it's a positive day and we move on to the next one. But I think what we've seen from that team today is that Ruben Amorim's not the manager of that football club. I don't think he's the manager of that football club at all. I think the real manager of that football club is the senior players, because he's terrified of them. I can't understand why he's not made changes in that midfield today. Or as Callum said, it's stubbornness. Yeah, it's stubbornness. Billy Welch says, Bruno in, Amorim out. Just a reminder that Bruno at the 10 led us to record low goal for and saw multiple managers get sacked. They can both leave, says Billy. Bomb squad gave the illusion of manager bigger than player power. Thoughts on the new Birmingham City ground? That was from Rajaf. I think it's quite impressive, to be fair. One outfield change from last season, same problems, says Steve Woodley. One thing I'll say, our depth is absolutely horrible. Seriously needs transfers, says Michael. Look, the depth isn't amazing up front, but you could easily make changes in the midfield. You could easily make changes at left centre-back. You know, like, I mean, you could do, but he won't. I would have at least liked to have seen Shaw dropped, says Rag. 6:30 a.m. just sacrificed my sleep, says Kamsi. The line, I've done that from Andy Atherton. Trust me, the manager is bad. People can't get it, says Vid. I hear stories about how dominant United used to be, having supported since 2016. I can't see how this club was ever dominant. Every time I watched old highlights, I get depressed at the current team. You know what? If we lose today, I think a lot of people think we're going to lose. I think actually one of the biggest problems today, one of the most frustrating problems today for many of us would be if we actually go and win. You know, if we go and beat Palace, in the international break, I looked at the Palace games and I went, that's probably the most difficult one we've got, apart from Villa away, in the next 10. So beating Palace would be a good result at Selhurst Park. I wouldn't be surprised if we do beat Palace today, and then people will be going, oh yeah, Amorim's cooking, the players are cooking. But what about Everton on Monday? And that's what I mean. If they turn up today because they feel like it, it'll just be another indicator of what a bunch of twats they are. Because I've seen this movie before. I wouldn't be surprised if we did win today. Because that's just what they do. You think they're going to turn up and they don't. And then you'll see a game where you go, they're not going to turn up and they do. I think they'll turn up today. Be like Anfield all over again. Oh yeah, they're going to get beat. And they'll turn up. But Everton at home against 10 men. You see what happened to Everton last night at Goodison Park as well. Against Newcastle, who are shit away from home. They conceded 4 goals. JMR says, I'm disappointed with the lineup. Would have liked to see some changes, but it doesn't surprise me. It's going to be a tough one today. And also, he can't move quick enough to get Dalot back into that team. And you can say what you like about Dorgu, but Dalot is absolute shit and has been shit for 12 months. So I'm not going to skirt over that one. How he is back in the team again is no surprise to me. But he's total shite. Like, why is he back in the team? Yeah, it just Dorgu, let's have a pop at Dorgu. Dorgu is just turned 21 and is a prospect and he's left-footed. Dalot is into his, mid to late 20s now? Straight back in the team. He can't get him back in the team quick enough. And he's fucking shit, I'm still very much behind Amorim, but he's handing himself a P4. I'm angry with him today, Scott. I'm not Amorim out, but I'm very angry with him today, and I'll be angry with him if we win. I just don't think he's showing me a vision again. He's almost turning into the Portuguese Southgate with favouritism and narcissistic behaviour. Stubborn, favourites, Mainu, I agree with you. Get your agent to get you a move. There is no point you being here. Absolutely none. None at all. Juan says, I've done that one. Thank you very much. Okay. Let's have a look at the Crystal Palace lineup. And then we've got something else we need to do as well. But Palace played on Thursday night. So they've had 2 days rest. They lost 2-1 to Strasbourg. They put a strong team out tonight, but they have had a hard, game. They've got Henderson, Richards, Lacroix, Gehi, Muniz, Mitchell. That's a good back five. Wharton, Kamada, Sarr, Pino, Mateta. It's a good Crystal Palace side. If we catch them, their home record's not amazing, but they are doing very, very well. They've conceded less goals than anybody in the league apart from Arsenal. So they're a good side. I think 2 things need to happen for us. We either need to catch them tired or we need to switch the light switch on. Juan says, last 3 games have drained me of any confidence, and regardless of the fact that Palace played on Thursday, I bet they'll be all over us from start to finish, says Effie. At the start of Amrin's tenure, when Casemiro was being dropped, you said it was because he was shite in training, that Amrin must have had a good reason. Now you aren't maintaining the energy. It's bias's house. Mate, I appreciate your super chat, but I often think you should think before you type, because I actually don't think you've realised just how you've walked into a trap there. So I said Casemiro was being dropped because he was shit in training, yeah? So now I'm biased. Do you have eyes? That's my first question. And do you watch football? Because Casemiro was fucking shit on Monday. So what you're saying is, I don't even know what you're saying is. Like, Casemiro wasn't playing because he was shit in training, and now he's playing because he's shit in the first team. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. I suspect Casemiro probably starts because he speaks Portuguese or something like that. Or should we investigate his family tree? Because I don't get the selections today at all. I don't get them at all. Even if we win, this lineup cannot be trusted, says Samuel. I have no confidence in this team. Delo at left wing back, just a waste of space, says Freeman. Come on, United, that's a dreadful lineup, says David. Look, I agree with you, David. First and foremost, I'll be in a terrible mood if we lose this game. For my own sanity, for my own mental health, for my own personal well-being, and for yours who feel the same, I don't really care about what Amrim does now. I'm almost in the Amrim, I don't care. I don't care if they sack him. I don't care if they keep him. The ownership is shit. You can't trust these players. All I actually care about is the badge on the shirt, what it means to me, and can they win, and can I put a smile on my face and go, United won today, and that's far better than losing. Because I've got no idea what it is we're actually trying to achieve at this football club. I've got no idea at the moment. I don't know what the vision is. I mean, you look at that team and sort of, I just don't know what he's trying to do. I don't know what he's trying to do anymore. Like, Casemiro and Bruno in the midfield doesn't work. We're still doing that. I mean, does he really think he's going to get 200 million spent on a midfield to rebuild it? I mean, if he is, great. But I don't know. I don't know. Jay says, I just wanted to say thank you for entertaining us all. You do a lot of good for my mental health. Well, you do a lot for mine as well, everybody. Having the ability to go live with you good people and, almost therapy is great. I would have had Heaven at left centre-back, Bruno and Mount number 10, and Burmo striker, Casemiro and Mainu in the midfield. I can't see us beating Palace with this squad, says Wolfie. We need Semenyo at left wing-back to replace Delo, says Ezzy. Thank you very much for that. Right, okay, just a little bit of a break while I take a breather here. I do need to tell you about an absolutely fantastic offer that we've got with Manscaped. I did mention it the other day, and I'm going to mention it to you now. If you don't know what Manscaped is, it's precision engineering for your family jewels, the world leader in male grooming and men's lifestyle. Winter's coming and there's no better time to upgrade your routine, whether you're shopping for your partner, your brother, or yourself. Manscaped's Performance Package 5.0 is the ultimate all-in-one kit for staying fresh all season long. From trimmings to tidy up, they can do your face, they can do your nose, definitely down there with the lawnmower, trim the grass to make the yard look bigger, as you can do with this beauty, the Lawnmower 5.0. Very, very stylish, trusted by millions of men worldwide. But this is the deal. Scan the QR code or go through the link in the description. TUS15 is the code, but it will get you 25% off before December the 4th. So you've got, 4 days to use this offer. 25% off with the code TUS15, exclusively for you. Fantastic bit of kit. Trim the grass to make the yard look bigger, but they've got all sorts of stuff for you there as well. So if you're watching this before December the 4th, hit the link and grab that 25% off. Get this for a present for somebody or for yourself. Check it out. It's usually 15%, but we've got 25% in before December the 4th by using the code TUS15. Thank you very much. Stay cool and smooth, and your balls and everyone else will thank you. Links in the description. Manscaped, 25% off. Thank you very much to them. Let's carry on. Game starts at 11 p.m. here in Melbourne. Same, watch the channel. We seriously need a good striker and a good midfielder, says Andreas. Swap Mainu with Mount, Bruno Cam, and Mainu pivot, says Nasri. Well, look. I think that is a really good point straight away, is that if you didn't watch the preview, you won't know what many of us were saying. So I would move Bruno into the Mount role. I would move Mbermo into the Xerxes role, and I would move Mainu into the Bruno role straight away. I would drop Luke Shaw because he's shit, and I would also drop Delo because he's shit. So there's 3 changes I would make straight away. But I think it's absolutely abysmal not to make any changes to the midfield. I really do. And also, look, let me just add this in for context, because you might not be aware of what I'm talking about. So effectively, let me just see if I can find this for you, because the context is key here. Here it was. So this is what Ruben Amorim has come out and said before this game in relation to Mainu. He said, I consider him a starter just like the other players. I simply had to make a choice, and in the end, it wasn't Cobby who was chosen, but in the future, I don't know. I'll say it again, Casemiro wasn't playing, then he started playing. I just want to win matches. I don't care who plays, I just want to win matches. Have you ever heard such a load of bollocks in all your life? I mean, what a load of shite. I mean, I'm sorry, we're Manchester United. We are now down into 11th, I think. We could go down to 12th or 13th if we don't win this game. I'm sorry, mate. That is the biggest load of bullshit, and it doesn't work anymore. You cannot publicly say I consider Mainu a starter, but I've just made a choice, and in the end, he's not a starter. He's not a starter, then, is he? You're the bloody manager, and if you think Mainu's a starter, and you know why I call bullshit? If Amorim, we're now outing him as a liar, because if he genuinely thinks Mainu's a starter, and he said it there, and he said it 2 weeks ago as well, he said, Mainu's so good in training, it's so hard to leave him out. So he said that twice in the space of 2 weeks, Mainu's basically a starter. If you've got a player on your bench that's basically a starter, the only way they don't start is because the people in their place are playing well. You have a game against Everton on Monday where everybody plays shit, and you have to sub one of your midfielders after an hour because they're so shit, then Mainu would start. So he's lying. In my opinion, it's a harsh thing to say, but he's a liar, because if he really meant that Mainu is a starter and he can't get him in the team, after Monday's performance, he'd play where Bruno is or he'd play where Casemiro is. So it's bullshit. It's total and utter, it's bullshit. You can't lie to people like that anymore. Just tell us the truth. Is he saying he's a starter to keep his value up for January? Because if he was a starter, you would start him in this game. He also said, in relation to the full wing backs, I think they're far from their best and they know it. So like a lot of players in our team, like myself, I just look at them and I think they have so much more to give. So let's see this week if we improve. He said, in relation to Dorgu, I don't know what is going to happen in January. What I feel when I see them in training is they're doing so much better than in games. Patrick, when I see him playing for the national team, he scored a great goal against Scotland. The decision he made under pressure was completely different to the decision he's making in our team. He needs to be calmer playing the game. You can feel the anxiety every time Patrick touches the ball. I can feel the anxiety. So basically what he's saying is about a young prospect who's only just turned 21 and needs nurturing and confidence is, you ain't up for it, mate. You're a panicker. And I find that incredible that he would say that about Dorgu. And some of you will agree with it, but I find that incredible that he would say that about Dorgu publicly to the whole world. And yet we've seen Delo walk onto the pitch for the last 2 months, pull his pants down and shit all over the pitch, and he won't say a fucking word about him. And that I find very, very hard. I find that very, very difficult. Those two comments about Mainu and Dorgu, I find bordering on appalling. And he did it to Yoro as well. He dropped Yoro for 2 games when it was actually Bruno's fault. And I find it so strange how he's treating young players, and then the experienced players who are worse, in my opinion, just carry on. And it should be the other way round. The younger players should be nurtured and supported, and the older players should be held accountable because they're the experienced players. And what we're actually getting is the experienced players get protected and the young players get thrown under the bus. So you've got Mainu, who's apparently a starter, but I've decided not to start him for shit. And then you've got Dorgu, who's basically a bottle job, and he's saying he's a bottle job, but Dalot's going to replace him. And I'm like, I don't, you know what? At the very least, I don't understand the messaging he's sending. And that's scary. So he's got to win today. He has to win today, because what he's got to do is win, so that when we're doing the match reaction, we say, look, I didn't agree with what he did, but he won the game. He has to win today. As I said to you on the show last night, if he loses, he's going to be in trouble anyway. But if he loses with the messages he's putting out, I think this gets really bad really quick. So we've got to win this game today, absolutely. After Dorgu likes the post on Instagram and got dropped, says GGM. Yeah, I don't know what this Dorgu post is that he liked, to be honest. I don't know anything about that. The Portuguese-speaking contingent can do no wrong, says Josh. This United lineup doesn't look good enough to win the game, says Finding Happiness. Amram needs to improve his substitutions and lineups, says James. Everton versus Newcastle proved that they're not a good side and never have been. United make shit teams look good when they switch off, says Rajaf. Let's just hope we switch on. Wagner says, watching from Japan, don't like the lineup, but hopefully we can still win. That's all that matters at the moment. 100%. You know, it doesn't right the wrongs of Everton, but we need the points. If I show you, and you may not have watched what we did last night, but if you look at, unfortunately, we've got to look at the bottom to see Manchester United. 12th place as things stand because of the Newcastle win. So we're in 12th place at the moment. If we were to lose, and I think that's about as low as we could go, unless it was a terrible loss, we could go to 14th. But yeah, we you know, I mean, Fulham winning yesterday didn't help us either. I mean, hello darkness, my old friend. 15th place is sort of saying, come back to me. You know, we're moving closer to that dreaded 15th than anything. But yeah, we need to win today. Killen says, without mentioning the January transfer window, with a budget of 240 million, should we spend it on 2 to 3 80 million players, or 4 to 6 players worth 40 to 50 each? I mean, Killen, look, we need quality. We need the Elliot Andersons of this world. We need the Angelo Stillers of this world. We need the Ollie Watkins of this world. We need people that come into this team, whether you think they're good enough or not, but you expect them to deliver straight away. The problem with a Dorgu, the problem with a Yoro, the problem with a Sesko, the problem with any other kid is that they've always got I'm a prospect. They've always got that. We actually need the Cunyas, the Mbirmos, because, you know, even Lemens, if he makes a mistake, I will say, come on, you know, he's better than Onana, but he's going to make mistakes. So I think it's, we've got to, if it's the difference between a 50 million prospect and an 80 million established player, I would go with the established player at the moment. Sticking with the midfield to force the board's hand, says Paddy. Morning, Mark. Just got back from watching my son's football. Isn't this the same lineup from the Everton game? What are we doing? There are 2 changes, Slow Sports News. So effectively, it's Dalot for Dorgu and Ahmad for Mazraoui with Mount for Mazraoui with Ahmad going to right wing back. So he has made 2 changes, but he's not changed the midfield. He's not changed the defence. I can sense a Dalot hat-trick. Amrin must have held training drills on Thanksgiving, says Yavin. And Amrim just proves that he's not the guy. He represents player power. We don't need to buy a midfielder. Bruno is still starting every game, says Orlando. Odds on Mount getting subbed at half-time and not seeing him midweek and potentially next weekend. I think it's an interesting week for Mason Mount, Mike. I like the player. I don't like the signing. I don't think he can play 90 minutes. I don't think he can play 2 games in a week. We've got 2 games in a week. So let's wait and see what happens. Thanks to everyone who's getting involved. We've got nearly 30,000 of you watching. It's an early kickoff today. It's a midday kickoff. Loads of people have had their say. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank you for everybody who shared the video. And please do subscribe. It's a busy day today because we've got midday, Man United, match reaction, fan forum, Chelsea Arsenal, then back on here for an 8 o'clock show. So don't always get an 8 o'clock show when there's a match day, but we will have an 8 o'clock show tonight because it's such an early kickoff on a Sunday. So lots to do today, lots of reaction, and hopefully at 8 o'clock we'll be talking about a good win, how they've switched the light on, how the team doesn't make a lot of sense, where do we go from here, but we have won the game, and how does he get these players to turn up consistently. That's the sort of reaction I want. I'm not allowed to really do predictions because apparently it's my fault when it goes the other way, but I think you'll like my prediction today. I'm going with a draw. I think it'll be a draw today, which is a halfway house for everybody. I think Palace might be a little bit tired. and we can't afford to lose. So I think we might draw this match today. Please do subscribe to the channel. We're on 217,000 and we're approaching 218,000. So thanks everybody as always, and I really appreciate you for that. Players are about to start here. I've just got to grab me water. I'll be 2 seconds. Well, I'll be longer than that. What's your neck getting tired? Just realised my water was already in the room. Wally. We haven't really spoken about the threats about Crystal Palace, but you know what? I think the biggest compliment I can play to Manchester United is that on their day, it doesn't really matter about the opposition because we've proven that on our day, we can go to Man City, we can go to Liverpool, we can go to Arsenal, and we can get results. So I think the biggest problem for Manchester United is going to be the ability to turn up. Look. Honestly, down the right-hand side, they should kill us with Sarr and Muniz against Delo and Shaw. That should be game over. That's where they should win the game. However, look, you know, Man United might turn up today. Look, I've seen the movie before. The overreaction to the team news for me is because he hasn't changed players from the performance on Monday. I think that sends a horrible message out, even if we win, that the players are in charge. It does. I mean, look, imagine if we win today, right? If you're a player and you win today, you get on Instagram, you know, everyone's being positive, right? But in the back of your head, you're like, I played fucking shit against Everton and I still got picked. It doesn't matter what I do, I will play. And that's not the mentality of a team that's going anywhere. You need accountability, you need standards. And every one of those players who shat on the pitch on Monday night, in the back of their heads are like, I can play shit and still get picked. And that's just not going to work in the long term, in my opinion. That's not how you do it. That's not how you build winners. It's not how Sir Alex Ferguson did it. It's not how Jurgen Klopp did it. It's not how Pep's done it. You know, you look at people that Pep just gets rid of because they're not up to it. I mean, you know, there's just no accountability. Same midfield, Delo and Shaw, says Nath. Exactly. And, you know, they've got the camera on Luke Shaw here now, and he actually irritates. You know, this used to be one of my favourite players. He irritates the shit out of me, you know. I'm only fit because I'm trying to get in the World Cup squad. I mean, maybe that's not fair to say that, but he shouldn't be starting. I mean, as I said, we've not even spoken about it, and we're about to start the game. If Martinez is fit to play, why is Martinez not playing? Like, every game's a cup final for us, so why is Martinez not playing? Oh, I'm waiting for the perfect game to give him some minutes. Like, when's the perfect game? Seba says, Mainu at 8 and Bruno 10 needs to be during the AFCON, says Seba. And hi, Mark, 4 a.m. kickoff here in LA. I hope we turn up today. Big shout out to everybody wherever you're watching from. Let us know in the chat. Unrest Digest with a super chat says, I can't believe he said that publicly about Dorgu. I thought it was a super chat, losing support from me. This is his January transfer window signing, who has only just turned 21, and he's basically just said he's weak in front of the whole world. And I wouldn't mind a manager doing that if he was consistent in doing it with Delo or Bruno or somebody else. But to do it in that way, I think it's poor, really poor. Time is up and running. We're up and running. Mark, the context is different now because our club once stayed firmly at the top and could handle setbacks. But today, each match matters. And Amrin would also drop big names if we held a safe top 4, says Kev United. Andy Atherton's gifted 5 memberships to you. Absolutely legend. Only a kid as a bench attacker is a worry, says Stephen. Yeah, you'll notice I haven't said much about the attack. You know, I haven't said anything about Xerxes starting because I actually think, here we go, this is why Delo's in the team. Look, here we are, fucking Stoke straight away, winning, chucking in long throws into the box. I mean, hopefully we'll score from it. No. Oh, fucking hell. Is this the tactic now? Stoke FC, just chuck a long throw in the box. I can't believe what the Premier League's become, actually. Like, we boot the ball long, win a throw-in, and then chuck the ball into the box. I mean, some of us a certain age remember this is what Wimbledon used to do. Oh, God, I tell you what, the camera is awful here. Is anyone else struggling with this? This is an absolute nightmare of a game to watch. Really tough. They need to sort the contrast out here. This is abysmal. This is what happens when you kick off at midday and it's sunny. This is going to be a hard watch, and not because of the result, but because the contrast on the camera is awful. There's too much shadow and there's too much sun, and it makes it really difficult for the camera guy to give us a clear picture. Problem is, so many played poorly against Everton. Who would you drop, says Steve? Well, I'd drop a lot more. I mean, it's pitiful what he's dropped, in my opinion. Nath says, Amrim's losing my support. I want to back this manager, but this is ridiculous. And Simple says, it's my 3-year anniversary. My wife got me a United jersey. I hope that gives us good luck. We need a win no matter what. If we play crap, come on, United. What's your prediction today? That was Simple's mental. It's me, Chris. Ron United says, Mark, prediction for today. I'm going to go with a draw. Yeah, I'm going to go with a draw today. Yeah, we've got to adjust our own eyes here to this. To be fair to the camera guy, I'm no camera specialist, but we nearly scored from that throw in. Great save by Henderson, actually. I didn't realise how close Casemiro was to scoring there. Henderson, look at him. He loves that. He loved that save. It's difficult to... It's really difficult, and we're going to struggle to watch this game because there's a Palace player down here, Sar. Yeah, he looks really injured, Sar, here. This could be, well, I don't like to say it, but if he goes off, that would... Well, it certainly wasn't a bad tackle by Delo. But I think he's caught him on the ankle with his other foot. It could be some. I think if Sarr goes off, that's a big positive for us. Oh God, here we go. I don't think Casemiro can do much more there. It's just bouncing around, and it's a good save by Henderson. I think what happens is Delo wins the ball, and then Sarr's standing foot sort of catches Delo's other foot, and I think he's probably just turned his ankle a little bit. Bit of a... It's all about whether he fancies it now. JJ Gabriel hat-trick under 18s versus Liverpool 7-0, says Rajaf. I'll tell you what, it's very, very rare to say this in the UK, but we could do with the sun going in. Of course, we should talk about Palace. We'll have a lot of the ball against Palace. Very rare for Man United to have more than 50% possession, but of course Palace often thrive on 30, 40% possession. They're a very well-organised defensive side who like to counter, so effectively it's a low block. But God, I tell you what, talk about low block. This is such a hard watch. It's really difficult. Interesting ball from Delo. That's going to go for a corner. Yeah, Palace don't want the ball, Randy, basically. Very, very good. Please do share the video. We're very close to 30k watching. Midday kickoff. I know it's strange for some of you. Gerald says, I'm squinting in at this one. Thanks for all your super chats as well. You feel like set pieces might be quite important to United, actually. Bruno's on this one. Set piece is so important in the Premier League now. That looks like a good cross to the back post. Delert wins it. Henderson punches it away. And Burmo wins the throw in. Yeah, Marco's right. They've got the second best Premier League defence. They conceded 9 goals. Yeah, they're the only team with Arsenal to be in single figures for goals conceded in the Premier League this season. And I tell you what, this is really difficult. I'm glad we're playing in white because I haven't got a bloody clue who's got the ball for Palace. Lovely player. That's Mateta. He's left the lit. And he hits it into the side netting. Good play. Bit of a sighter there from Palace. Very rare you see De Ligt done like that, but he absolutely sent him back to Juventus there. Look at that. Well, no, I think De Ligt's just overran it. Didn't even need to do that much. And a bit of a strange shot, actually, because it wasn't really on. Rolled right out of bed in the US for this one. Come on, United, says Ryan. Yeah, give us your thoughts on the team and how you're feeling. I've got to say, I'm just, I'm glad the game's kicked off because with regards to the team and some of the stuff that Amrim has said about Mainu and Dorgu, I describe myself as very irritated by our manager this morning, and I need to be vindicated in my support for him. I need a win. Shea Lacey being the only attacking player on the bench is a joke. Not to be pessimistic, but I can't see us getting the results, says Connor. I think it's going to be a tight game. Palace's home record, if I remember correctly from the preview, is not particularly... it's okay. I mean, they don't lose many games, but I think they're better away from home. They hardly concede anything away from home. So I feel like also playing on Thursday night surely has an impact. So, and also, I think when we expect a bad United result, we don't always get one. Nice ball by Mason Mann out to Ahmad. Casemiro's just been caught there. Mark, I'm afraid that Ruben's charm and way with words has tricked us and maybe isn't such a good manager, says Nick. No, I do like... I mean, that could have been a yellow card for the Palace player there. It is a bit late. I do like Amrim. He does speak a lot of sense, but I don't like what he said about Dorgu. And the Mainu one annoys me the most because if you didn't hear what he said, and sorry if I'm repeating myself to those who did, he basically said Mainu's a starter, but I've chose not to start him. And I'm like, he said that twice in 2 weeks, and we played rubbish on Monday. So if you've got a player on the bench who's a starter and your team's played rubbish, if I've got a midfield two of Declan Rice and Enzo Fernandez, and I've got Caicedo on the bench, and Declan Rice and Enzo Fernandez have a terrible game, I'm going to pick Caicedo. So if Amrim really thinks Mainu's a starter and Casemiro and Bruno have a bad game, then of course I'm going to change one of them. My wife bought me United bed sheets. We better win, says Connor. Casemiro, I think he should have done better there. Player of his quality. Good cross by Bruno from the set piece. It already looks like set pieces are going to be very important. We've had a goalmouth scramble from a long throw in. A header there from Casemiro from a free kick. The corner was quite good to the back post. So if we can get our set pieces right here, Palace aren't really a team that scores loads of goals. I think we've started off okay, to be fair. Palace looking like a team that played on Thursday at the moment. And we're looking like a team that lost on Monday and is trying to put a bit of effort in. So I wouldn't be disappointed with this first 10 minutes from United. I feel our intensity is pretty good, considering who we're playing. But then again, we need to see a reaction. Monday was awful. They can turn the light switch on when they want to. And it looks like today the light is on. And as we've said before, sometimes it is ridiculous. You can play Thursday night in Europe away from home, and then you're back playing on a Sunday lunchtime in a Premier League game, and it is difficult. So we need to keep this intensity up and not allow Palace to get going, because if this was a home performance, you'd be very happy with it. The crowd would be bubbling and you'd be up for it. You'd be ready for it. So if we can keep this Palace side subdued a little bit. Jack Brown says, if everyone plays a low block against us, surely we have to get better playing against the low block. We can't keep doing the same thing for 5 years. We've always been bad against the low block though, haven't we, Jack? That's the problem. Oz Sports Moment says, Mateta gave Saliba trouble. He'll wreck the lit. Connor said his wife bought him United bed sheets. Don't shit the bed. Apparently, if you buy United bed sheets, even if you're not someone that shits the bed, you wake up in the morning and you have shit the bed. It's part of the marketing to go with United. I'm joking. Oh, good chance for edge of the box there for Wharton, straight at Le Mans. I don't know what's going on today, but I'm watching on TNT, so I'm not even using a streaming service, and it seems to be a little bit delayed, which is really strange. We don't normally get that. So apologies if you are slightly behind or slightly ahead today. That is bang on. That time is bang on with what we're getting through the satellite, but definitely seems to be a slight delay, because I saw people saying that Le Mans save about 2 seconds before he actually saved it. Whether we win, lose, or... Nath Soccer says, whether we win or lose, I genuinely don't see progress, so what does it matter? This team is not what I believe Man United should be, says Nath. I think a win in the context, Nath, of what games we've got coming up, like the West Hams and the Wolves, you would hope if we could win today, we could win our next two, and then suddenly, everyone's talking positively again. So I do think the context of the result is good. Palace wait patiently, and as soon as they get the ball, intensity, quality press up the pitch, says Jay-Win. United stand on the ball and point, jog back. There we go, says JWJM. Is there a better TNT channel? Do they do it on purpose? I'm just wondering if I'm on if they've got a better channel. TNT. No. Oh, I tell you what, that was a big chance for Mateta. He's causing troubles, isn't he, Mateta, here? Even if Man United loses today, I will consider it a win for comedy, says Corin. And Palace, I've done that one there. Yeah, well, Palace just there in the last couple of minutes, starting to come alive a little bit. Well, hopefully we can win and Liverpool lose, because that'll just take away the focus on us. Another chance for Delo to throw in. I mean, this is, this is just anti-football for me. I'm so against it. Like, these long throw-ins. Look, I know we just want to win, but I find these long throw-ins repulsive. I really do. It's anti-football. I mean, it used to get ridiculed by Rory Delap and Wimbledon. Why are we doing it? I mean, is that the Amorim plan? Ooh, long throw-ins. Come on. Do a short throw, move the ball about and score a decent goal. I just don't... I know we're desperate, but we can't be about that life, surely. Surely we've got a better long-term vision than that. I think Mbeumo's going to get booked here. Yeah, I knew it. I knew he was going to book him for that. Is he going to book him? Yeah, I knew he was going to book him for that. The referee's sort of going like that, and to be honest with you, as soon as he did it, I thought the modern PGMOL, they're going to book him for that. Did Amorim go long throws at Sporting, says Nath? I don't know. I don't think it was a foul, but it's the dissent, isn't it, from Mbeumo to chuck the ball down like that. We all know it's going to be a yellow card. So he's got to be careful now. I hope you're having a good day, says Shiro. I won't mind a draw today, but I hope we beat West Ham and Wolves. Wolves are on 2 points. Don't talk to me about that Wolves game. Surely we'll win that. Do you think Amorim thinks Mainu isn't ready and wants to bring his own crop of academy players in? That might be why Cobby doesn't play, says Dylan. I don't think he trusts... I don't think he trusts him. So I think corner to Crystal Palace here. Yeah, I don't think he trusts him. So I think it's about letting him go, to be honest. Right, corner to Palace here. Let's see what happens. We have defended corners a lot better. And we have got a lot of height. Yoro, Delit, Xerxes, Casemiro. Lemens is good at coming for crosses. So gone are the days... I need to shut up there. It's fine. It's not gone in. Delode looking down the line here for Mbeumo. Nice ball into Xerxes. Lays it off to Casemiro. That's it. Move it quick. And Ahmad loses it. Casemiro wins it back. Ahmad. To be fair to the referee, let both tackles go there. That's a nice ball into the channel. Sarr, another corner. Good play by Delit. I thought it was a foul on Ahmad, but there'd been one just before that he didn't give to Palace, so I think he was doing that whole let it flow thing, which is quite rare in the Prem, but to me that's a foul. That's a foul. Casemiro's been shocking, says Toyson, and yet he's been our biggest goal threat when you think about the early chance from the long throw in and the corner from Bruno. So, look, maybe that's why he picks him. That's a lovely shot. Look at that lovely clear blue sky in London town today. It's a shame it's messing up the camera. Wharton with the cross, back post, kept in, headed away, crap header away, still in there. Another corner. Under a bit of pressure here, United. This is classic for us. Easy to pass to the wing, but Ahmad goes himself, says Amar. How is Shaw still playing for United, says Aaron? I'm just hoping I'm hoping Martinez gets like half an hour today and then gets a full start against West Ham. Surely Amorim's thinking West Ham is the perfect game to give Martinez the start. Another good corner. Who's marking there? I mean, that's a good chance there. I think it's Lacroix who gets on it. We've got to be defending better than that. Yoro's just not strong enough, is he? He's absolutely... Well, to be honest, he's got to do a lot of work. I think Yoro's probably put him off a little bit there, so fair play. Got to do a lot of work to score that. Please do share the video if you're watching. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I'd say it's an equal game. I don't know what the stats say. It feels like it's quite an equal game. Yeah, 3 shots, 1. Yeah, it's quite an equal game, isn't it? They've had more corners, possessions. Yeah, it's quite an equal game at the moment. You don't want to concede first in a game like this. Is it a good game, Mark? No, it's bloody dreadful, to be honest. It's a back five against the back five. And both teams are heavily reliant on counter-attacks and set pieces. Like this. And Burmo. No. I really do understand why Amrim was looking at Ollie Watkins. There's another chance for United to whip across in this. I almost get excited when we get a free kick where we can whip across into the box, because I do think set pieces are going to be the big thing here. Definitely a foul on Delo. Trips in Muniz there. So this needs to be... Watch Casemiro. I think he's our biggest threat here. So Bruno needs that run in front around the 6-yard box. Casemiro, watch him. You've got to be dipping it in just ahead of Mateta for Casemiro to run onto. And Burmo's going to take it. Not very good. And Palace. Henderson will catch that. Goal kick. Goalkeeper's got it. You can't park there, mate. Says if Man United go into a back 10, it should end up 0-0. And Mr. McCrae says, sorry, let me just see what happens here. Think this is like watching under 8s. It's so poor, says Steve Woodley. We're a shambles to watch, says Frank. And it was against it was against West Ham where Martinez got that knee injury. Hopefully he can come back with a vengeance, says McCrae. Why book someone for time wasting when you add it on later, says What's Up Sham. Aaron Smith, thank you very much. Welcome to the Members Club. Palace on the probe here with Adam Wharton. Casemiro very late again. And a good chance for them. Standard save for Lamens, but it was good play by Palace. And I tell you what, from where how many times do we see us conceding these sort of chances as well? Midfield runner, no one on him. Bruno, Casemiro, not there. He's a midfielder. He's their midfielder there. Cut back to the edge of the box. Midfielder with a clear shot on goal. Wasn't a very good shot, but again, losing the midfield runners. Ahmad's actually running across, and Bruno's going like that, like an octopus. You're a midfielder, mate. That's a midfielder. I don't know whether it's you or Casemiro, but one of them's got to win that. Xerxes and Mount struggling to get into the game at the moment. That's a good tackle by Shaw. If this leads to a goal, I will say Ricky will be very excited. Here's Mount. I said he's been a bit quiet. Nothing comes of that. Cunha's got an injury at the moment. Head injury, so he can't play. Our possession game is shit, says Bart. That's poor by Bruno. And he slips. And Muniz down the right-hand side. Good cross. No! Good block. Whoever that was. I think it was Yoro. Very big block. Good defending. Tell you what, it feels like Palace are getting a little bit closer here. But now we've got a break. Bruno, where's he going to go? Too easy to defend that. We're just kicking the ball forward for the forward's sake, says Rizzo. No plan, no vision. They're absolutely dominating us as soon as we get the ball. I think it's a very equal game. I think it's just about who's going to make the mistake or who's going to make the good play and score first. Good play by Mount there to win it back. Remember, this is a Palace side that basically played 48 hours ago as well. That's going to be a corner. This is a big block by Yoro. Good cross by Muniz. Lemens can only do so much, and it's a good block by Yoro. Jack says, please get Xerxes off. So, corner for United. 26 minutes. I've been saying for 25 minutes, it feels like this is going to be a set-piece game if United are going to win it. Have seen a lot of back three formation with Conte, but the way United plays, not good enough. That's a decent corner. Henderson, and he's going to give a free kick. Sorry, let me read that again from Rub. He says, I've seen a lot of back three formations with Conte, but the way United playing is this style is not good enough. The front three needs to work much harder. And you can't park there, mate. Says at least the commercial side of Man United is going well. Horizon says, I think McFred would be better than we are at the moment, says Horizon. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, nearly 40k, keep sharing the video, and please do smash a like. United here about half an hour in, possibly the worst game of football I've seen. It's shit, says Mario, and I think this is the type of performance we should expect to see until after the AFCON. Toothless in attack, set pieces are only hope, says Azure. It's survival football, isn't it? I mean, good interception there by De Ligt into Mason Mount. Good play by Mount, and then a bad pass. Story of our half. You know, there's moments where you go, ooh, we might do something here. That's a good tackle by Luke Shaw, but he's not going to want that. Xerxes just didn't want that tackle, did he? That's going to be a throw into us. Eric Ten Hag was the problem. Glazer spent and he failed, says Umpa. Would rather play Binder up top than Xerxes, says Connor. Nate says, spot on, this is just survival football at this moment. Sesko makes a big difference up front, says Pistol. Look, I think we've got, whatever happens in this game, even if we get 1-0 up, I think it's going to continue to be a bit of a battle, because subsequently it's very difficult to see what attacking subs we can actually make in this game when... I mean, I just don't think Mason Mount can play 90 minutes. Oh, terrible, terrible by Xerxes there. He's just so rusty, isn't he? Can you say hi to Declan and Patrick for me, says OBTD. Hello, Declan and Patrick. Hope you're doing well. David says, I'm hammering him in, but this is awful. Not sure what else he can do with the players. He's got to get them up for. This is awful. Well, I disagree with that. I mean, I am hammering him in, but... there is so much he could have done with this team other than pick the same, spine that we saw against Everton. I mean, it's not a good performance. Obviously, if we get a win, it's a good result, but it's, performance at some point. I mean, we're trying to hit so many long balls, and other than Mbermo, there's no pace. We're like a B-Tech Arsenal. It's like we're trying to win free kicks and deflections to get corners and free kicks that we can put into the box and, try and get Casemiro on the ball or something like that. But, I wouldn't say Palace had been good. At times, I think they do look like a team that played on Thursday night, but we're just toothless in the open play attack. So we're trying to work set pieces. And I said that right at the start of the game. I think if we're going to win this game, it will be set pieces. Dean Henderson's never conceded against United, says Robert. You sure? I mean, I'm not calling you a liar, but I feel like he has. Why can't I comment or send super chats at, and yet you just did? Watching you with Amram is like the stages of grief. You'll be acceptance in about 2 weeks, says Rory. I want him to do well. However, I've always been very consistent with managers that even managers that I back, in the sense that when they start doing weird things, you know, I will call it out. Mateta on the far side here. That's good play by Palace. And that's a penalty, surely. As he took him. I think that's a penalty. Yeah, sorry, I'm getting a stuttering thing there. That's a Stonewall penalty. It is. As soon as I saw it, I thought that's a penalty. And it comes from a very good ball by Adam Wharton. And we've seen the 3 auditions, haven't we, of Belabor, Anderson and Wharton. And whilst I think Anderson was brilliant against Manchester United when we played Forest, and I thought that I thought Belabor was terrible. I think Wharton started to grow into this game, running the midfield again, losing another midfield battle. We can't argue about this. Yoro's in a terrible position. I don't know what Yoro does there. He doesn't even need to do it. De Ligt knows it's a penalty as well. Some people are saying it's no contact. I mean, I don't get the feeling that's not going to be a penalty, to be so this becomes a very difficult game now, because from what I've seen in the first half an hour, we need Lamens to save this, because I haven't seen that. This United performance doesn't look like a 2-goal game. We're not creating anything. To me, this looks like a 1-1 maximum. Mateta, we need a save from Lamens. Oh, he's gone the wrong way. That's it, isn't it? That's it. 1-0, Palace. We've had, 33 minutes. We're playing like Stoke. He's picked the same team basically from last week. We've gone 1-0 down, and that's it. That's it, isn't it? That's the response. Absolutely shocking. Shocking from Amorim. Shocking from the team. And a shocking performance in a Manchester United shirt. I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked by that at all. Fucking useless. Absolutely useless. This performance from Manchester United so far has been like watching Tony Pulis' Stoke 15 years ago. And for Manchester United, that is absolutely abysmal. Absolutely shocking. Even though I said it wasn't shocking, it's shocking to see Manchester United playing football like this. Disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. If you get results playing like this, you survive. Oh, it might be a possible double. I think it's going to be a double touch. I think it is going to be a double touch. VAR are looking at it. In which case, does that mean it's not a goal? That's a double touch. That is a double touch. That is going to be a double touch. Does that mean that he has to take it again, or do we get... What's the rule on this? Does that mean he's not going to get a goal? Get in! Our luck is changing. Have that, you Eagles. It's a retake. Oh, fucking hell. I thought it was a... I don't know, I'm doing that like a singer. It's a retake, everybody. I thought it was... what's the bloody point then? Just give him the goal. What's the point of that? Just let him have the bloody goal. I mean, all right, yeah, let's have a retake. You might miss it again. But surely if it's an illegal penalty, it shouldn't be a penalty. Right, I've got a feeling about this. I've got a feeling about this. I've got a feeling. I've got a feeling about this. He's worried. The Palace fan's worried. It's always in the favour of the goalkeeper when they've got to take it twice. Shit! Shit! It's gone the other way. 1-0. And that's it, isn't it? That's it. Tits on a Nun FC are back again. Absolutely useless. Absolutely useless. Poor old Yoro's got to go through it twice. So nice, we did it twice. Absolute shit. What's that idiot doing with them bloody sunglasses as well? Boom! Zoom. Good penalty by Mateta. I mean, he's the sort of striker we should buy, actually. I know we were linked to him in the summer. An experienced striker is probably the sort of person we should buy. But I agree with Jay. Why does he get to retake it? Ridiculous rule. It's entirely the taker's poor technique that causes that. I know. That's what I thought. I thought he wasn't going to get to take it. They changed the rule. Double touch used to mean free kick to the team. I believe last season they changed the rule. Idiots, Tom. Idiots. Why would you change the rule? Let's get a win. I have a maths test tomorrow. I hope I will do well, but I'm stressed. I'd love to see Delo do the same test as his IQ looks to be 0. Amrim's like a chef with rotten ingredients. No. Amrim's like a chef with rotten ingredients, and then in the cupboard there's fresher ingredients and he doesn't use them. Oh dear. We're literally the definition of insanity. Same team, same outcome. Says Dakota. Palace can take off Kamada and put another striker on. Wharton, Bossing, Bruno and Casemiro. It's embarrassing, says Thomas. Yoro to be thrown under the bus as well. I mean, why are they taking off? Oh, they're taking off Sarr. I think he's injured here. I mean, this might be a positive. And Ketia's coming on. I've never rated him. Told you they need to play a back 10, says you can't park the bus there, mate. Let the train wreck continue, says Nate Soccer. I got up at 5 a.m. for this. It's my fault, says Xander. We lost. We always lose when we don't score first, says G. Why? I understand that Xerxes is going to be rusty. Can't be easy, but he's got to be stronger, says Alec. Can you say hi to my cat, Brian? He's just had surgery. I don't know whether a cat will understand it, but hello, Brian. Hi, mate. Why can't I have done that one as well? So, United 1-0 down here. Look. There's no point ranting and raving. I'm not surprised. I saw the team. I wasn't surprised. I said the switch might go on, but I can't sit here ranting and raving about a team that's shit and playing shit, you know? Midfield shite again, by the way. I mean, I'm bored of saying that. Give us your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. But the midfield is fucking rubbish. Absolutely rubbish. Our midfield's so rubbish, we bypass it. We just hit long ball after long ball after long ball after long ball. There's no construction at all in our midfield. And look at this from Palace. Lovely. They're so good. I saw them in the FA Cup last year. Here's Muniz down the right-hand side. They're so lovely in their in the way that they attack. What's that from Casemiro? Wins the ball back and then passes it to a Palace player. We've got to be very careful here that we don't go 2-0 down before half-time. How are we losing to a team that played on Thursday night? You know, where's the intensity? Long ball. You'd think, you know what? If I was playing a team that had played Thursday night and I'd had a week off, you know what I would do? I would, I'd work on keeping the ball. I'd work on intensity. You know, I'd work on the fact that they're going to be more tired instead of just hitting long balls and giving them the chance to win it back. Pimbers, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much. Harry Potter should cast Sakio on Man United manager, says Alex. Welcome to the Members Club, Pimbers. Thanks for getting your badge in. Legend. ChatGBT said, Mateta always switches corners on penalties. Any keeper who studies him knows where to dive. United staff clearly skipped the homework. That's incredible. Theodore. I mean, I don't know whether that's true or not. Here we go. Don't worry. Big long throw from Delo. Oh, United! United! I love this. Yeah, another long throw. Ooh, it's bouncing around off people's heads. The deflection goes for the corner. United! 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 Get another Delo throw in and let's throw it in and see if we get a lucky deflection. Ooh, yeah, I'm so proud of this football. That's football. Get it going. Get another big long throw from Delo. Ooh, it's deflected off her head and nearly gone in. What a load of shit this is. Bloody hell. That's what we've become. I mean, I'll celebrate the goal. I'm not proud to say that I'm not an idiot. But, I mean, this is what Man United have become. Delo on the pitch to launch throw-ins. Disgusting. Headed away from the corner. We need a goal before half-time here. We're shit in the second half. We need a goal before half-time. Bruno with the cross. That's a good cross. Henderson punches it away. Delo! Oh, it's going to go out. It's not gone out. It was that much of a shit shot. And Mbeumo put the cross in. Bruno put the cross in. It's a good cross. Headed away. Delo, don't shoot. It's a good cross. No. And away it goes. For 600k a week in midfield, we should have the quality like Caicedo and Vitinha, not Uncle Casemiro and Bruno. We need to buy in January, says LT. The Magi Alchemist, welcome to the Members Club. Bruno shoots. I said 3-0 Palace, and that's not changed, says Glenn. Foul throw equals no retake. Foul penalty equals retake. Apparently the rules have changed, Robbie. I actually got caught out on that one and thought it was going to be no retake, but obviously they've changed the rule. My friend Satab is a substitute teacher and advised for his students to take him seriously, says Red Platoon. Now is not the place, mate. We're having a bit of a meltdown here. In all honesty, I'm getting so tired of this football. This is not United. Bring back wingers and fast play. Hate this trash, says Robert. Amrim showing game after game that he's not a good manager. Need to sack him now and get the best of the best in. So Southgate. Evan, you know, hopefully you're joking, but Southgate's available. That's the terrible thing. So we all know that Amrim will throw Yoro under the bus now for the next game, while Casemiro and Bruno will start. Sick of Amrim's decisions, says Joa. Can this football get you Europe? No, says Hayder. I mean, mate, I've stopped thinking about Europe, if I'm being completely honest. Fair play if you are, but no, I've stopped thinking about it. I need to start making some notes here. I don't like to, but out. If we're going to play football like this, we actually should get Sean Dyche because he knows how to play this shit football. Can this football get us Europe? No, says Hayder. Can we just fire Amrim now, says I start. 12 wins in a year. This is horrible and we play like blind chickens with no plan. We have no patterns. Amrim picks the team, says I start. Well, I've just tweeted it there. If we're going to play shit and win, you know, there's a debate there about we're Manchester United, we need to play good football, but we're winning. Ollie did that. But if you're going to play shit football and lose, I'm sorry, we're going to have to do something that we don't do. Play well in the second half, but not on top of that, play well in the second half away. I mean, Mason Mount's been crap. Casemiro's been crap. Xerxes been crap. Bruno's been crap. And Burmo's been trying, but it's difficult to break a Palace side down that's so well organised. We tend to do a little bit better when we're losing, so hopefully that changes. Here is Mount. He's got to try and win a corner here, but Palace win it back. Long ball, set piece merchants, constantly defending, awful to watch. Why were you so against Southgate? At least he has an exotic name now. Amrim, says Hayder. Mate, I don't want to play this brand of football. You know, whether Southgate's better at it or not, I don't want to play this brand of football. It's disgusting. I don't really have a massive problem with playing a 3-4-3 with wide players that push forward, 2 number 10s and a striker. But this is awful football. I mean, I said this week. Factually, when Ineos took over United, I think we were 8th in the league. Since Ineos have come in, our league position has dropped, our win ratio has dropped. We're actually in a worse position. Amrim is the Portuguese Pulis, says Fairway 5. How are you outworked by a team that played on Thursday, says Jaden. I think this is a great point. It's embarrassing. And Steve Howard says, at what point is rock bottom? Hold on. Palace. Good tackle by Luke Shaw. And he's all right. I thought he'd injured himself. At what point is rock bottom? I hate to say it because I want this manager to work, but the football is marginally better under Ten Hag, says Steve Howard. I think it was better. They're in again here down the left-hand side. Watch out for the cutback. Oh, Casemiro actually doing what a midfielder very rarely does in a United shirt. 5 minutes added on here. Come on, the game's starting to get stretched. I thought a Palace player had gone down injured. That gives us a chance in the midfield. It's a good ball by Casemiro. We've got overloads. And Burmo and Ketia does well. Bruno's going to have time to whip a good cross in here. No, I said good cross. What a fantastic manager we've got, says Sal. He's being sarcastic. Passing is atrocious, says Ray. Shout out to Abby and Mummy Diaz listening in the car, says Adam. I changed the channel. Put Magic Christmas on and you'll feel a lot better. What sort of ball is that from Luke Shaw? Absolute shite. We've got to win the second balls here. No, don't win that one either. Of course, this plays into Palace's... I haven't said this, sorry. This plays into Palace's hands because they like to defend and counter. And when you're 1-0 up... Randy's watching Home Alone. I actually wish I was. Instead, I'm watching Shit Away. Not my best joke. My nan could make an impact more than Xerxes, says Kieran. Hi, Mark, you nailed it. The midfield is the problem, not only on defence. It also makes our offence totally predictable and easy to defend against. Oh, Delo down the left-hand side, but he doesn't have a left foot. Wasn't a terrible cross. Bruno bottling a 50-50 with Wharton. I've got to be careful here. Oh, no! Oh, De Ligt! It's slipped! And it's not! Nketiah! Good tackle, Luke Shaw. Thank God it was Nketiah. That was absolutely... If that's Mateta, it's over. Bruno, that tackle could inspire us here. Delo. Use the overlap. Oh, fucking hell. Oh, Ahmad, don't shoot. Whatever you do, don't shoot. Good cross. Delo. We've got to be careful here. We've got to be very careful because Nketiah is shit, thank God. Thank God it was Nketiah one-on-one. He is. I said when he came on, he is. I know he scored against Liverpool, doesn't he? But he's no. Yeah. He's no Sarr. Robury says Amram is a prat. Uses the same crap midfield weekly, but expects a different result. No one in the bloody box. I mean, that's there to be attacked. What subs are you making at half time? Says Ethan. I mean, you would like to take Xerxes off, but I don't know who you'd bring on from the bench because Lacey's the only player. That's lovely play by Mbermo. That's going to be a free kick. Best thing in the game is that the sun is gone, says Little. And my friend Setab got a Man United 2007 Premier League Champions tattoo. Do you believe in manifestation, says Red Platoon. Luke Shaw is our best player today, says Ali Gamer. Well, it was just his big arse that got in the way there, to be fair, but it all counts. I mean, if Luke Shaw's your best player, that says everything. I'm willing to concede that Luke Shaw is probably our best player, so that says everything. Delo is the level of 2020 Maguire, says Armstrong, and Nketiah has 2 hat-tricks at the Emirates, says Our Sports Moments. Shaw's had a good half, says Robert. Mate, I couldn't give a shit if he's had a good half or not. We're playing absolutely shit and we're 1-0. I don't do player FC. I'm a Man United fan and this is fucking appalling. So if you want to start championing individual performances, that's good. But I couldn't give a shit, really. It's embarrassing, this is. And if we don't get back into it, I'm not taking the positives of individual performances. Didn't see the ball there because the sun's back out again. But all I now see is Palace on the attack. Bruno... I don't even know if he was fouled there, but I think he went down because he was in trouble in a one-on-one. Hi, Mark from Northampton, up the Cobblers. We've got Wheatley on loan. I'd trust him over Xerxes. He looks like a deer in the headlights, says Morgan. Missed the first half. Is this the same squad as the Everton game? I don't think it was a foul on Bruno. I think it's half-time. It is half-time. He made 2 changes. He brought Delo in and threw Dorgu under the bus publicly. And then he's brought Mount in for Mazraoui and put Ahmad back to right wing back. So half-time from Manchester United. They're losing 1-0. I've got to say, this is the sad deterioration of the football club many of us love. Because if we're being completely honest, there is no United fan that is going to be... Look, let's pretend like we've got what we got. We've got nearly 50,000 people watching. So share the video, get your comments in. But let's say 48,500 goes up to 50,000 and 1,500 people come in new, right? Those 1,500 people who haven't watched the first half are not going to be surprised when I say the football has been horrendous. The team he's picked is basically the same as Monday. and we're losing 1-0 to the better side. I mean, that summarises it, and we're not shocked about it. Also, in relation to the league table, we stay 12th, but if the goal difference keeps... We could actually go down a place without anyone playing below us. So, absolutely horrific performance. And look, you know what? We've got to say this. The tactics that Amorim is putting out there are about as clear as a pint of Guinness. Somebody show me what we're meant to be seeing, because I don't see anything. It's just what Ten Hag was doing, really. You know, all I see is Delo running down the left-hand side and Yoro or De Ligt looking for the long diagonal that Maguire used to look for Rashford for. All I see is Bruno going, "Ooh, where can I whack it long today?" All I see is not, losing midfield battles. All I see is unable to break down a low block. Forget Amorim. Obviously, we can't. He's the manager. But forget Amorim for a moment. This is Glazer Ten Hag era. This is Glazer Ollie era. We've seen this before. 3-4-3, 4-3-3, whatever you want to call it. We've seen this before. We're hitting long diagonal balls. We're bypassing our midfield because it's shit. And we can't break down a low block. And we're totally reliant on set pieces. And our best form of attack, and I want to cry about this, our best chance of scoring goals is getting Delo to launch a long throw into the box, a la the crazy gang Wimbledon from the mid-90s. I mean, that's Manchester United. And if people don't want to wake up and acknowledge this because they don't like negativity, trust me, we are playing like Wimbledon and Stoke. We are hitting long balls and trying to focus on, getting a little lucky deflection here and there. And the better side, and Palace aren't a great side to watch, but Palace actually soak up pressure and counter effectively. And that's why they could have had a couple more goals. So we've created nothing. I mean, Palace, off the top of my head, I think they've had 4 or 5 shots on goal in the box. I don't think we've had a shot on goal in the box. I can't remember a shot on goal in the box. Obviously, we had the long throw where Casemiro's throwing his feet around. But have we actually had a shot on goal in the box? And they played on Thursday night. They played on Thursday night. We played Monday night at Old Trafford against 10 men. We're utter rubbish. And we turn up on Sunday when they've had like 48 hours from France on Thursday night. And they've got more energy than us. I'm sorry, if we don't turn this round in the second half, I don't want to. I don't want to. You know me. I'm stubborn. I don't want to say it, but I'm like, what is the vision? Like, I don't want to see that style of football. I don't want to see Delo wiping the ball and going, woo. I don't want to see. I'm sorry. I grew up on Beckham and Scholes and Rooney and all that lot and Cantona and Hughes. I grew up with that. I did not grow up with the crazy gang. I don't want to see that football. It's abysmal. And the midfield is so shite. It's so rubbish. It's absolutely... I just keep going back to June when we had the opportunity to sell Bruno and buy players in the midfield. And I said, if he's going to play in the midfield, sell him. If he's going to be a number 10, keep him. He's playing in the midfield. He's absolutely terrible. And he's saying things like, oh, Mainoo's a starter. Well, bloody get him on. He should have started the game. We're getting to the point now where if he doesn't turn this around in the second half, that team doesn't work and he won't change it. So what is it Sir Jim Ratcliffe is expecting? Like, he's, what that's up there with Everton. It's shite. I mean, look, Luke Shaw probably is our best player because he's made 2 blocks. De Ligt's not been that good today. He's been one of our best players. De Ligt's not been very good today. Yoro's not been very good today. Delo's Delo. Ahmad's not really been in the game. Casemiro and Bruno have been awful. Lamens has been okay. Xerxes has been awful. Mount's not been in the game. And Mbeumo's not been in the game. So again, there's no reaction because the manager doesn't create a reaction. He picked mainly the same team from Monday, which was shocking. And he sends the message out that that's okay. You know better than Amrim, you have no coach badges, says Joseph. I mean, Joseph, that's the worst thing you could ever say, because the United Stand is the biggest football fan community in the world. There's hundreds of thousands of people who have an opinion here. We're not the manager of Man United. We're just a fan community. And we don't say we know more than Amrim. But if you want to break it down, I think most of you do know more than Amrim, because he makes mistakes most of you wouldn't make. And just because he's got his coaching badges, that's not Man United. And where he's going wrong is he doesn't understand Manchester United. You know, if you're managing Liverpool, there's certain things you've got to do. If you manage Man United, there's certain things you've got to do. This is abysmal. This is not Manchester United. There are things that they have to do, and he's not doing them. So, yeah, he's got his coaching badges and I haven't, but I don't give a shit. He's absolutely clueless at the moment. He's got to change it. The low, long throw-ins and this midfield is so bad. Long ball FC, it's a disgrace. We're playing like a relegation team, says Adrian. Look, if I'm Sir Jim Radcliffe tonight, and we're talking hypothetically here because the game's not over yet, but if I'm Sir Jim Radcliffe tonight and we lose this game and we're playing like that, Europe's gone. I mean, you know, I blame the ownership anyway. I've blamed the ownership all week. But why do they put 100 crosses into the box when it's only Xerxes there, says Ben the Red. We could be here all week and we wouldn't score, says James. Obsession with Bruno in midfield is killing him, says Adnan. Starting Casemiro and Bruno after Everton is a sackable decision, says Marlowe. Anyone trying to blame our defence must retire from football. I'm having wet dreams about McFred at this point. Thanks, Marlowe. We've strung 5 passes together or kept the ball for 10 seconds. Why does every manager coming with bright tactical reputation reduce us to this, says Vib. Matthew says, I'm hammering out now. Even if we win, the selection is a joke. Go for Eddie Howe, who will adapt depending on opposition. Put Bruno up front, mainly for Xerxes, and Burmo as a 9, says Rashid. I would do that. I think that's a good idea. Xerxes, Bruno and Casemiro off. Agate, Mainu and Dorgu on. Dorgu left, the low right. Shift Ahmad up. Brian up front. And Mainu and Agate in the midfield, says Ethan Campbell. Sack the manager, says Sal. Shaw saved as our best centre-back and best young centre-back in the world from humiliation, but I was told he was crap. E.g., go and find somewhere else. I don't know whether there is a Luke Shaw glazing channel, but yeah, mate, I'm not interested in fucking Luke Shaw. Literally, I'm not interested in that. But I'm also only interested in Man United. If you're Luke Shaw FC, you know, go and get yourself a burger, you're feasting, but I don't give a shit. If midfield is crap, it makes the defenders and attackers look worse than they are, says Anil. Mate, you're all right. Games are won and lost in the midfield, and we don't control the midfield. So, effectively, it's always going to be very, very difficult. And when you don't have a midfield, you're going to get countered on because they're going to run through your midfield. When you don't have a midfield, you're going to hit a lot of long balls because you can't play through your midfield. And when you don't have a midfield, you're going to not create many chances. And it's interesting, isn't it? Because Adam Wharton has played fantastically well in this game so far. No surprises there. And the same as Elliot Anderson. So all these midfielders that we're looking at are just cooking against us because we're so bad. But I don't think it's an audition for Adam Wharton or Elliot Anderson. I wouldn't be surprised if West Ham's midfield plays well against us on Thursday night. I think we've got a big problem at the moment. It reminds me of Liverpool in the sense that we're just in this rut now where everybody's very confident against us. I mean, look, Everton got absolutely spanked last night by Newcastle. They beat us with 10 men. So I think that I said it on the preview that I would make changes in that midfield because it was so bad against Everton, and he hasn't done it. And look, whether he should have made other changes, maybe he would have changed other areas, but fundamentally, when we're talking about changes from Everton, it's the midfield. Casemiro was crap, Bruno was crap. Move Bruno to 10, maybe you keep Casemiro in and see how he does with Mainu, but you've got to change that midfield. We can all argue whether it should be 2 midfielders or 1 midfield or whatever, but to keep the same midfield as what he did against Everton is shocking. And the only thing I would say is it's not shocking if it works. If it works, it's absolutely fine. But if it doesn't work, it's a massive, massive problem. And it's not working. So there we go. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, bottom right-hand corner. Thanks everybody for tuning in. As always, we're really close to 218,000. We're only a couple of hundred away. Don't forget player ratings as well. You can do that through the link in the description. I mean, I wouldn't do it yet, but you have to register. It's free to do it, but mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. Get yourself registered there. You'll also see Manscaped going round, who are sponsoring our show today. Maybe they could come into the Man United dressing room and trim the grass to make the team look bigger. But you can do that with an exclusive 25% off delivered to your door, 25% off up until December the 4th. Fantastic little offer for you there. Check that out through Manscaped. The incredible thing is that he might not make changes at half time. As much as we think he will, he might not make changes at half time. So incredibly, he might not make changes. The bench for United: Biinda, Dorgu, Heaven, Lacey, Mainu, Malacia, Martinez, Mazraoui, Ugarte. He can't really bring Martinez on because Luke Shaw probably is our best player at the moment, so you can't do that. Mazraoui's not going to give you anything. Ugarte for Casemiro might not work because it's a defensive move. Mainu for Bruno and moving Bruno up forward makes sense. Lacey's a kid. Dorgu for Delo, he'd have to sacrifice his long throw. So he might not make any changes at half time. And I think that's the problem we've got now, is that we've become so bad and then we don't change it. We've become so bad that there's no accountability. And I think that's sort of where we are, and he might not make any changes. Thanks everyone who's getting involved. Please do hit that subscribe button and share the video. I'm just going to catch up on some of your comments as well. And Burmo looked average last 2 games. The United curse is real, says Marlowe. I remember we had a moderator, shout out to Paul Robinson, years ago when we signed Bruno, and he said, how long before Bruno comes down to the level of Man United? Well, we'd all say Bruno is an established, light switch player now. And what we're seeing is, with Mbeumo, is everything he did at Brentford, which was consistent, right mentality, week in, week out, he's now coming down to that level. And a lot of that is because of the team he's playing in. It's not like he's getting good service. I think if you gave Mbeumo the chances he got at Brentford, he probably would take them. But the formation, the system, and the way that we're playing, I mean, if I'm a centre-back for Palace, I'm like, oh, God, you know what? I'm still tired from Thursday night, and I'm so glad we're not playing a team that moves the ball around quickly. I'm really glad they're hitting these long balls, because I get to have a little bit of a break while they look to hit the long ball, and then I can see it come in. I just got to compete for it, get possession back, and relax for a bit, Or, I'm so glad they're focused on set pieces, because while they're thinking about it, I get a little bit of a breather, we organise. This is a team that played on Thursday night, and our only plan is long ball and set piece. It should be intensity, speed. Again, if somebody's tired at football, how do you beat them? Move the ball around quickly, sometimes go back to go forward, tire them out, make them make mistakes, make them lose concentration. No. We're not capable of doing that. £600,000 a week on that midfield, I wouldn't pay 60. Doing the same thing over and over again is madness, says Bear Merchant. Mark, Arsenal use long throws as a string to their bow. United have no bow, just a random broken string, says Paul. It's shocking football, mate. I don't think he's made any subs at half time as well. I'm just waiting to see. Folks say don't have the players to change it. What? Go back 4, Delo, Shaw, full back. Yeah, well, exactly, Brido. You could go to back 4. It's not like the bench can do any better, says Dominic. Well, they can't do any better. They can't do any better, can they? Blaming owners like they picked that midfield, says SOS. No, I blame the owners because they've created this mess. So, yeah, have that. How much longer do we have to pretend that Cobby is not good enough to start in this shite team? The manager is sacking himself, says Nate. Just about to start the second half, and then I'll carry on. No subs at half time is bordering on sackable. Honestly. It's abysmal. It's absolutely shocking. I've tweeted it there. It's not hammer him out, but it's very, very close to it. It says no subs at half-time, hardly any changes from Monday. That's all we need to see really from this manager. No standards. There's just no accountability for poor performance. Hi Mark, 4 years ago when I super chatted you finally admitted Ollie out. It took you a while. This is all deja vu, same cycle as 4 years ago. Are you hammering him out yet? Says Ken. Well, look, I remember Man United at the Etihad being 2-0 down, and there was a load of people in the live chat saying Jose out, and I said you can't do that at half time. You never know what's going to happen in football, and you never know what's going to happen in football. So I'm not going to change my mind at half time. I will take it minute by minute. But what I will say is Dean Henderson's got the cap on, and to not make subs at half time is disgusting, because that half of football was sickening. But I think he's probably not made them because he knows he's got to take Mount off at some point. I can't see Mount playing more than 70 minutes and then being in the team on Thursday. Burmo's looked average. The curse is real, says Marlowe. There is a reason teams play with confidence against us, because our players have no aura, have no passion, and have no sense of pride. That's the bottom line, says Kay. Why don't we pull off Xerxes? No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Lemon lover. Put Burmo up front, Bruno up there next to Mount, and get him out of the midfield and get Mainu on. Well, I mean, I think we'd all do that. Mainu is worse. Grimsby, everybody says top. Mate, I can't believe that we've got people in this chat trying to point score that Mainu is rubbish based upon the Grimsby game when you're watching Casemiro and Bruno put in consistent stinkers week in, week out. I don't get the logic of that. Oh, Casemiro and Bruno are shit, but I think Mainu's even worse. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. Don't worry, though. We've got another long throw from Dart. I tell you, this is doing my fucking head in. We better score from one of these. I'm absolutely fuming about these long throws. I can't see another one. I cannot watch another long throw. Actually, you think you lot are going to be Wolves' first win, says Jack. Wow. The thing is, and I don't want to, well, I'm not doing anything wrong here. If I was Wolves, I don't know what formation they play at Wolves now, but if I was Wolves, I would play like this. I would play like this. Managers make a difference. Look at Emery, says the Welham and Valley, 2021-03. 5 of our 6 number 10s are playing. How does that work, says Nick. Yoro's been abysmal the last couple of games, says Dante. Hammer him out, says MUFC Musical. Thoughts on Xabi as a new manager, says Luke. They'll go and get bloody Southgate, won't they? I've not seen Yoro have a good game this season, says Tyrone. Well, mate, you didn't watch the first 5 games of the season then because he was very good. Just go and check the player ratings. We'll never progress under this ownership, says Mario. Up at 6 a.m. in Texas to see Man United play this type of football, and the lack of effort from these players is disappointing, says Mac. Mainu and Agate actually have a future and we could try to build something with them, says Duke. As I said, like, the team, most of those players aren't long-term. The style of football is atrocious. If you were winning, you might put up with it. But when you're playing shit, there's no future in the team, and you're not getting results, that's even worse. Here's Ahmad. Oh, dear me. Terrible cross. Armstrong says, watching this while Mainu sits on the bench is hard. He's actually playing the best players available, says Tok. Are you literally Sir Jim Radcliffe? Because everything you're typing is utter shite. Salah dropped, but Amrin will not drop the midfield, says Arnie. Has he dropped Salah today? Time to send this manager back to Portugal, says Joe, and he can take Delo and Bruno with him, and he can drop Xerxes off on the way. Shocking performance. What would you change at half-time, says Brendan. I would have definitely put Mainu into the midfield. If I can only make one. I mean, Amrim's done none, so even one is something, isn't it? Sorry to break you the news, Mark, but every single manager since the Mourinho appointment have been absolute shit. We need a proper manager, says Default. KMK says, you blame players, but when they leave, they look good. What's your point? I don't know what you're talking about there. I don't see the correlation there. Maybe the club's run better. Maybe they've got a point to prove. You know, maybe it's a last chance saloon and they start trying, you know. Even though Xerxes not been great, we're trying to smash long balls into possession-based false nine. Exactly. I think this is a great point, Zanny. Well, Palace are going to do a long throw here now. Now, and they nearly score from it. Fucking hell. I'm watching and it's crap, says Tom. Picking the same team from Monday, no accountability as usual, says Tom. How is Amrim not seeing that midfield is crumbling, says Aditio. Do you think he's keeping it same to push for transfers? Yeah, but Sean, how? So basically he's losing on purpose for transfers. I mean, it'll be out of job. 10 years of this, says Des. Unfortunately, no improvements in play with Amrim's tactics. Harsh, but it's worrying. How do you sincerely expect Amrim to play a different style of football without different players or competent ones at least, says Shah. 0.01 XG from open play, says Rinson. Bruno is absent. You wanted this, Mark. Enjoy and shut up. Oh, how's about you fuck off and shut up? I did not want this. Do you not watch the previews? I actually didn't want Amrim. I was excited when we got him because he's a 3-4-3 and the style of football. But I never said, oh, Amrim's the manager I wanted. So I didn't say that. And I've never said I wanted Bruno and Casemiro in the midfield. So I don't know who you think I am, bro. But you've got me saying, bro, I'm that angry. I did not ask for this. This team doesn't work, says Arla. Our fullbacks are absolute 0 out of 10. I think Ahmad's. I feel bad for Ahmad. I do feel bad for Ahmad. What would you do? Yellow card here to Palace and Ketia. Amrim says he takes things from other managers. Will he learn to drop Bruno as Slop dropped Salah? Says Blake. No coordination amongst them, says K1. Long ball only works when you have a fast attack. Mount, Bruno, Delo, Casemiro and Xerxes all run on slow motion, says Alex. Still wouldn't be surprised if we got a draw out of this. You know, it's been a scrappy game. We've created very, very little. Mazraoui's coming on here. If Bruno has to play, surely Bruno at 10, says Free Immortal. Let's see what happens with this free kick. Thanks everyone who's watching, by the way. Please do subscribe. We're very close to 218,000. Bruno's free kick. Xerxes. Goal! Oh my God! Oh my God! Out of nothing. Out of absolutely nothing. Moments FC is back. And you've got to say, well, I mean, that's just quality. That is just pure quality. And you know what? I'm going to applaud it because he gets a lot of shit. He doesn't get a lot of game time. He's been very, very rusty. It's not even a good free kick by Bruno. He's definitely onside. I was worried there. He's definitely onside. Controls it. And, you know, Dean Henderson probably shouldn't get beaten. But to be fair, it's just a lovely technique goal. 1-1. Lovely goal. Lovely goal. What a goal by Xerxes. Out of nothing. And we needed that. I literally just said before that I wouldn't be surprised if we get a draw. We might win it now. Well done, mate. Well done. Well done. Well, Robert McCormack, Dean Henderson's conceded a goal now. Well, hopefully, second half United. 1 goal in 25 Premier League appearances. We're cooking. Xerxes shut me up, says Alex. Look, as I said, Palace at home, they do draw a lot of games. And they might tire in the second half. So, look, there's a long way to go here. Mazraoui is on for Yoro, I presume. Has he subbed Yoro off? Yeah, no surprise there. Throw the kid under the bus at half-time. Yeah. Sign up Napoli manager. Anyone that can turn McTominay into a superstar gets my vote. Yoro looks devastated. Another kid thrown under the bus. The facts. Protests were cancelled because of Belabor, says Jacob. Thank you very much for that. Okay, well, look, we've got a bit of hope here. A win's a win. As I say, if you're playing shit and not making the right subs, but you're winning, you know, you survive, don't you? And let's see what can happen here. Need to change the captaincy and give Delit a go, says Shot. Xerxes, my king, aura off the charts. West Side, says Rajaf. Hey, look, I haven't been critical of Xerxes. He hasn't been playing well, but the amount of minutes he's had this season is abysmal. He's rusty. I would expect the more games he plays, he will get better. And we saw against Everton, he was very poor. We've seen in the first half, he's been very poor. But there's the goal. And from that goal, you would hope that we get, you know, a little bit more confidence, a little bit more, you know, rhythm, a little bit more composure. What happens if we need to get into the Champions League? We don't have a big enough and decent enough squad. Can't see owners spending what's needed, says Ross Stephen. Look, I think that's a good goal by Xerxes. I think if I was Palace, if we'd conceded a goal like that, I'd be like, how's Lemens let that in? How have we allowed someone to shoot from there? However, maybe that's tiredness from Palace. And look, they don't have Sarr. They have Nketiah, and he's crap. So, do they have a goal threat anymore, Palace? And they did play on Thursday, so they could get tired. Worldy FC says Ninja. Call me an idiot. It's been said many times before, but I think we might have a chance here in this second half. We've scored at the right time. There's a long second half, and Palace surely will get tired. Damn, look at the away support. Ineos and Amram should be grateful. Also feel bad for those fans, says Kev United. Oh, God. I tell you what. Xerxes nearly scoring an OG there. Got to switch on at the back. Mazraoui kicked it. Went on to Xerxes. Nothing Lemens would have done about that. Corner to Palace. And we got rid of that. Ethan says, twat, what subs and shits are you going to make? Don't just read my chat and move on. I've sent 4 now and no insight. You're just yapping. Yeah, all right, mate. Start your own channel. You know, maybe one day you might get 1,000 people watching, but I've already explained what subs I would have made, mate. That's what half time's for. So you've had your moment. You've had a few people liking your comment. I've responded to it. Shame you couldn't bring something a little bit more to the party other than twat and what changes would you make. But, you know, maybe if you listen to half time, you might learn something. If you think that Manchester United is something to be positive about at the moment, I presume I'd say you're about 20. I certainly don't think you experienced the Sir Alex Ferguson era when we used to have standards, play good football and accountability. But, you know, blame your parents for that, mate. It's not my fault when you came out your mum's chuff, is it? If we can pull a win out here, it would be a win on the road. A good second half performance and a comeback. 3 things we've struggled with. As I said, Alec, just win the game. I think that Xerxes moment, if we can get a result from here, Ollie was a manager that relied on moments. We have played shit. We are still hitting long balls like that from Delo that go out for a goal kick and give up possession for absolutely nothing and allow Palace to get a breather. The football is still shit. But that's how Bruno gets his assists. That's it. In 4K, that's how he gets assists because that was an assist for Xerxes. So a free kick into Xerxes where he controls it and volleys it from a ridiculous angle that's counted as an assist. There you go. In 4K. I really am concerned, says Joshua, about Amram's treatment of our young players. Yoro not allowed to make one mistake. Dorgu was scapegoat, but he signed him. Mainu is comfortably our most talented player and never used. I think if he's going to take Yoro off, take him off at half time. Why bring him on for 3 minutes to sub him in front of everybody? It's almost like it's a punishment to do it in front of the cameras. And again, you know, if you're going to criticise Dorgu publicly, then why not do it about other players as well? Forgot Mount was on the pitch. Who would you bring on, says Lonnie. I mean, look, I'd love to see, that was a foul on Casemiro there. I would love to see Lacey come on. Whether he'll do it or not, I don't know. I'm hammering him out. Long-term, no vision. He will be sacked, says Mr. J. Ninja says, off topic, but the away fans have been brilliant. If they can remind this team when it's all about, then we might as well give in now. Ninja, our away fans are always fantastic. I think the home fans were fantastic this season as well. I thought they were fantastic on Monday. Free kick on the edge of the box. Delo. Forgot Mount have done that one. Thank you very much. Good free kick position here. Could be a Bruno moment. Definitely a free kick. I mean, I don't know what Gehi's arguing about there. It's 100% a free kick. You know what? Can I just shock you? Delo's had a great game today. He has. He's been up and down that left-hand side. Energy, effort. He's been absolutely brilliant in his efforts. I'm actually joking, by the way. I mean, look, you're never not going to get effort from Delo, are you? He's never going to stop running. You've got to shoot here, Bruno. You've got to shoot. This season was always going to be up and down. Manager needs time, says Ronnie. And AES says, we underestimate the importance of a good director in football and sporting director that can convince the board to spend. Berta, for example, might be Arsenal's best signing, says AES. Dylan says, I'm 22 and only watched United for the last 10 years and my football intelligence is so much better than some of these brainwashed idiots, says Dylan. Can you shout out my mate Kalen? He can throw a ball longer than Delo, says Admir. Goal! Bruno Fernandes! I told you! 2-1. Man United have turned it around. No, Mason Mount. I think it's Mason Mount, not Bruno Fernandes. I think it's Mason Mount. I wasn't looking because I was doing a shout out for Kalen. But I think United are they are 2-1 up here. There's a bit of moaning from Palace. I don't know what they're moaning about, but it looks like it's Mason Mount. It's Mason Mount who scores it. So set piece again. 2 set pieces. Set piece FC, but we don't care. The wall is terrible here from Palace. You know what? Dean Henderson can't do anything about that. I think Palace are shot here. I think they're tired. They played Thursday night. They look like they're doing exactly what we hoped they might do in the first half. They're tired. They're making silly mistakes in the defence. And we've exploited it. You can't knock it, you know. Xerxes' goal was good. Mount's goal was good. Yes, they're set pieces, but concentration and Palace just seem to have switched off. Someone said Forgot Mount was on the pitch. I don't know what Palace were moaning about there, by the way, but right, we need to just be careful here now. We've got ourselves back in. We've got ourselves in front somehow, and we're actually playing okay, and we're actually creating spaces. And Palace look tired. Go and get a third. It's like there's so much space there now. Ahmad, lovely play over the bar. And just like that, the season pivots again, says Ronnie. Well, one of you just said it, and you're absolutely spot on. I said it at the start of the season. It's going to be a roller coaster. I said at the start of the game, I would not be surprised if we win this game. It's a 90-minute game. And the team, I don't like Amorim. I'm very close to saying we need to replace him. You know that, and I'll never lie. But this is the sort of game we go and win after Everton and after that first half. It's just, it doesn't actually surprise me. And Burmo, let's give the manager credit for playing Xerxes. It's, again, faith paid off, says Ronnie. Bruno with the assist again. Bruno's had 2 assists. This is how he does it. Mr. Rock, thank you. Anyone else notice some of our players and Amorim look like they've just woke up, bags under their eyes and everything, not used to early kickoffs? Oh, mate, JW, we can't use that. You can't say you can't say we were crap in the first half because they've only just woke up. Thanks, Ronnie. Obvious why Amorim criticised the younger players and not the leadership group. If he starts to call them out, it'll be Mourinho all over again, says Rajaf. Will Liverpool play in any European leagues as soccer? This is the United stand, mate. Pure Turnip says, worst thing is Bruno got the assist and he's been rubbish. Look, Bruno's got 2 assists. On stats, he would be an 8 out of 10. You know, with 2 assists. So, you know, I agree his overall game has been poor, but give us your thoughts, everybody. Look, I want Man United in Europe next season. I don't want another season like this. We should have beat Everton. If we can beat Palace, it sort of, you know, gives us puts us back there. We've got to beat West Ham. We've got to beat Wolves. We've got to start winning games of football. And look, the style of football is shit. Both goals are set pieces. We know that. But both goals are from free kicks that Crystal Palace conceded, that we won. So we've got to win games at the moment. They're not gonna replace Amrim. You know it, I know it. They're not gonna do it. So if we're gonna have this for the season, let them make their minds up in the summer. But we've got to try and win games. Ultimately, we are still crap. I agree. But we can't just lose games. We've got to win games. We've got to try and make the season interesting because I don't think they're prepared to make a change anyway. Did you just say you don't like Amrim and want him out, says Bart? No, I didn't. What I said is I'm very close to being Amrim out because I just do not like this style of football. I don't like the football that we're playing. And it's a hard watch. But I'm allowed to have that opinion, mate, and I will be honest, and you can have a different opinion. You don't control my opinion, and I don't control yours. I said I was angry with the team that he picked. I said I was angry with the way he treats Dorgu and how he, you know, protects the senior players. And I don't like this brand of football. But ultimately, I haven't switched up. I'm very, very consistent. I'm not happy with what's happening with the team. I don't like the way that we're playing. But as I said at the start of the game, the bottom line is, when we beat Brentford and we played shit, as long as United win, I'm happy because I support United more than I support the manager and more than I support the board or the players. So if we win, you know, I don't want to lose. Losing, you get ridiculed. Losing, you're miserable. I have my concerns about where the club's heading. I mean, where's the vision? Is this, if we win this game, are we not going to have Everton anymore? If we win this game, are we going to go on a run and get top 4? No, of course we're not. We're not playing anywhere near good enough. We might be winning this game because Palace are tired, because they played on Thursday night and they just haven't got the legs. We might be winning the game because the players have decided to switch the light on. We might be winning the game because we're a little bit lucky. I don't know. But the bottom line is we're winning the game and we take the points. But if there's any United fan out there going, ha ha, look at all the people that were being negative, you're a fucking moron. I mean, what is it that makes you think that, you know, in the last 15 minutes, 20 minutes, that we're any good? I mean, maybe Palace are playing shit because Nketiah is on and he's rubbish. Be a very good win. And that's what we have to take from it. But I still think there's huge question marks. And I certainly don't think if we win this game, people are going to go, oh, yeah, we're back. You just got to go to the next one and keep winning. If we'd beaten Everton and Arsenal, we would have been top now, says Ian. How would that happen? We'd have 6 more points. If not Amrim, then who, says Nath? Well, the club won't have anybody lined up. Look, Amrim will be here until probably the summer, I would say. But we need to get the 3rd goal, or we need to switch up defensively because Palace will have a go. Ronnie says Ferguson was on the brink, rest was history, says Ronnie. And season of transition, let's see the game out and take the points 1 game at a time, says Ronnie. Thank you very much. Let's stay cool, game's not over yet, says Eddie. I agree, Xerxes a set piece. And also, we've been class second half. Yeah, we've been brilliant, mate. It's the best football I've ever watched. What was Ollie's strong side and what was his downfall? I really wanted him to work at United, says Oni. Maybe you can talk about that in the chat. We've been, sorry, it was Armstrong who said we've been class second half. Look, I wouldn't say class, I'd say ass first half, and second half, they've obviously done something that they very rarely do, which is they obviously want, the players are obviously not Amrim out, because if they were Amrim out, we wouldn't have had this second half. I think what they've shown in the second half is a bit of intensity. They've actually shown up in the second half, whereas in the first half they didn't. And you know what? The simplest thing I can explain about United is we've won at Anfield, we've beaten Chelsea, we've lost at Brentford, we've lost to Everton. We were shit in the first half, we've been good in the second half. What people get confused about, and I think many of us don't, which is why we're not shocked when we concede and we're not shocked when we're 2-1. It's that consistency that some of us have, that a light switch team is literally on and off. When the light switch is on, you get this. When the light switch is off, you get the first half and you get Everton. So for whatever reason, they've... I thought that was a foul on Delo, ref. No, Delo didn't want it. For whatever reason, at half time, they've switched the light switch, haven't they? Watch this back. That's a foul, surely. Surely that's a foul. He leaves his foot out. Oh, come on. Maybe it wasn't enough. I agree with you on the way we play. Winning is good, but the win is due to a worldie and a free kick, not the style of play, says Quinton. Results are all that matter at this stage. Will the results, like Everton, not just be part of the journey? I can't trust these players either, but he doesn't have much to work with, says Michael. The trouble is, mate, as I said at half time, the vision is about as clear as a pint of Guinness. You know? It's Luke Shaw doing his normal crap second half here. He's just been booked. I don't know, you know, it's still going to be Bruno and Casemiro, isn't it? We've played 72 minutes and it's still Bruno and Casemiro. So, you know, for everybody who's now going, everything's fine, at half time you were saying the midfield's shit. The switch up is hilarious. I understand we all want Man United to win and we don't care how that happens. I'm on board with that. But I can't switch up like you do and go, oh, the midfield's great. You know, it's not. And he's going to keep doing it. So until he changes that midfield, I don't really know. I don't really know what's going to change, because you're always going to get at it. League table looks a little bit better at the moment. We're up to 6th with that if we win, which is incredible, because if we'd lost, we could have been down to like 13th. And it looks a lot better. You know, I understand the positivity. It does look a lot better. 6th place looks very good. Mark doesn't watch the game, then moans at Bruno. Yeah, mate, I think 95% of the chat at half time said Bruno was fucking rubbish. So he's had 2 assists and now he's had a worldie. I mean, if you want to judge Bruno on the last 20 minutes, that's absolutely fine. But the last time I checked, the game was 90 minutes. But look, mate, make your own mind up. I don't know why my opinion bothers you so much. If he plays like this with his players, I'll agree, says Jimbo. In the first half, I was fed up with this. We're playing shit. I'm a lot happier now, but we're still playing shite, says Catton. I think we're going to win this game. I think Palace have just absolutely disintegrated. And why that is, maybe it's because of Thursday night. It's an opportunity that we should have took in the first half, but we're certainly taking it in the second half. Arsenal would have had 26 points and we'd have 27 if we beat Arsenal, says Ian. In the... if he plays, I've done that from Jimbo. Rash says, downplaying the result. Just a reminder where we finished last year. Palace a good side. You complain how bad the squad is, but expect to win every game. No, mate. What do you want me to say? I stand here in front of you in my own time for 2 hours every day, and I speak every answer. I don't know what you're talking about. So what do you want me to do now? Do you want me to, just go, we're the best team in the world, everything's fine, Everton doesn't matter, the first half doesn't matter, we've had 2 set pieces that we've scored against this tired Crystal Palace side, and we're meant to be going, everything's fantastic. I mean, I don't know what you want to say. I don't want me to say. I mean, I'm very happy that we're going to win the game, because fundamentally that's all I care about. But if you want me to say Amrim's the guy, I'm very Amrim'd out. I thought what he said before the game was disgusting about Mainu, and I thought it was disgusting what he said about Dorgu. And I think he hasn't made enough changes. And I think the performance in the first half was terrible. And in the second half, he scored 2 goals from set pieces. And we're now meant to go, everything's fine. I acknowledge that set pieces are part of the game, but this is a guy that's been using Delot to launch Wimbledon throw-ins for most of the game. I'm not going to switch up and say it's okay. Winning is important, but this could easily be another loss. You know, against Everton, we deserved to lose because we played shit. This game, I think, is a little bit like Liverpool in the sense that you can't knock us for winning it, but we also could have lost it. I mean, Palace are all over the place. And Burmo. Oh. He's right. If we beat Arsenal, oh, mate, I'm not talking about this. This is the last one. If we beat Arsenal Everton, we win today, we'd have had 27 points and Arsenal would be second with 26. We missed that mentality. But, Stephen, the problem is we deserved to lose to Everton. There was no if about it. You know, Liverpool could say if they'd won their last 7 games, they'd be in a title race, but they didn't deserve to, and we didn't deserve to beat Everton. I completely understand what you're saying, Mark. We might get 3 points today, but this football isn't sustainable, says James. I think hopefully it's going to be sustainable for the next few games. Like West Ham at home, we should beat them, but it's Everton, so I'm not going to predict it. Wolves away, we should beat them, but it's, you know, it's United, isn't it? I don't know when Mbeumo and Ahmad are going, and that will weaken us. I completely agree with the whole roller coaster. It's going to be a roller coaster, and we're going to have up and down results. I mean, look, they're taking Adam Wharton off in the 75th minute. That's because they played on Thursday night. So they're tired. They're tired, and I'm pretty sure Glasner's going to say in the second half, you know, Pino's coming off as well. Danny says, I'm hammering out even if we win. Look, I'm not switching up. On my match reaction, I will say the things I was going to say if we were going to lose anyway. You know? I've seen Man United under Ten Hag win games and people say it's not sustainable, it's not good enough. And that's the great thing about what we've built. Everybody is entitled to their own opinions, but I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, yeah, this is great. I'm really, really happy about it, because I'm not. Are you watching Liverpool-West Ham? I'm going to keep an eye on it, but we've got to do the match reaction, and I'm not doing a watch-along, but I am doing Chelsea against Arsenal on That's Football. Yeah. Bench says 2 Bruno assists. I bet Mark is gutted. Again, I'll read it because it's a super chat, but the immaturity is laughable. Like, if Bruno was playing in number 10, I'd be very happy. I was one of the very, very few that said if Bruno was at number 10, I wouldn't have sold him. So, you know, I get tired of having to repeat myself, but it is a super chat, and obviously I'm very respectful of reading those out, so thank you very much. Who would you play in that midfield, and would that be a stronger team? I mean, I find it incredible, actually, that we've played nearly 180 minutes and he hasn't changed the midfield in 2 games. He's stubborn, and he's got away with it today because I think Palace in the second half fell apart. But that midfield doesn't work, and he hasn't changed it in 2 full games. Biggest ball knowledge says, I agree with you. Happy we won, but never win convincingly or play good football. It's a shame. Thank you very much, pal. Thanks for your super chat. Justin says, please don't say we'll win. I haven't said we're going to win. I said we should win from here because Palace look shot and we look more likely to get the 3rd goal. The contrast has been very different since we've got that 2nd goal. Malik says, Bruno's been superb and we're winning the Prem. I agree. Delot's been magnificent as well. Man of the match, Delot. Right, player ratings, don't forget to do those. Bottom right-hand corner to subscribe, but player ratings, I think the link is in the video description. I'll put the QR code up as well. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. Man of the match contenders is interesting. I mean, I think you've just got to give it, you've got to probably go Bruno for the 2 assists, or Mount for the goal, or Xerxes for the goal. Yeah. For 60 minutes, you shout on Amrim's midfield, but Mainu would never have assisted. Oh, God. Florin, look, if you love Bruno and Casemiro, save your fucking money, mate. I'm only reading it because it's a super chat. You're not going to change my mind. One fucking half of football in 2 games. We get 2 set pieces and we're winning 2-1 against the team that played on Thursday night and is dead on its arse. And we've had the whole week off and we're playing well at the end. And suddenly, the midfield is absolutely fine. I'm laughing at it. The switch up is amazing because you weren't here at half time with your super chat, were you? You weren't here at half time and you weren't here on Monday. I respect the opinions of people who are like saying, look, I want to win. We've done well in the second half, but it's the people who come in and say, oh no, you know, the midfield's fine. It's fucking rubbish. If any game, though, the midfield could last the distance would be against a team like Palace, who played midweek. Come on, United, says Ronnie. Martinez is coming on. This is good to see. The Butcher is back. And look, hopefully he'll start him. Luke Shaw's going off. And hopefully that's the beginning of the end of seeing Luke Shaw in a Man United shirt on the regular. And that might seem like a horrible thing to say, but I think this player is really important to the way we want to play in the midfield. He can step into the midfield. So, you know, really important to see Martinez back. And of course, what I would say about Martinez is, and we've spoken about it a lot, it's like he's had 2 serious injuries and hopefully that third one won't happen and we can start to see him consistently in a Manchester United shirt. I like Amrim and the way he is with the media, but United don't look great and he's quite stubborn. I'm still 50-50, says Alan. Bunch of idiots gagging for a reaction, says Rin. Yeah, but, you know, we run this community as a democracy and, you know, if you don't want me to answer those sort of things, I won't do it. But I mean, Palace have been dreadful second half, haven't they? I think the Sarr substitution was the one where it helped us because Nketiah, he's rubbish. I think this, for me, is comment of the watch-along. I absolutely love this. I think this is absolutely brilliant, and this is my point, and I wish I'd thought of it because it would have got me out of trouble, right? I would sell Bruno Fernandes to Saudi tomorrow if he's a midfielder in Amrim's vision. But if he's a number 10, I would keep him, right? Bruno at 10 would have got both those assists. We don't need him in the midfield. What a point that is. That should be read to Amrim and Sir Jim Radcliffe and every Man United fan. What a point that is by KN. Bruno gets both of those assists as a number 10 because they're from set pieces and he would take them. As a midfielder, I think he's a liability. As a number 10, I think he's an asset. And people might not understand that, but both those goals he's assisted would happen with him as a number 10. Apparently some people have voted for Delo as a man of the match. Why not? Baha says, can you explain how the 3-4-3 system works? I think people get lost on the 3-4-3. I don't think the 3-4-3 or the 4-3-3, that's not what we're talking about. It's... You know, you get people like Carragher talking about the formation. It's not the formation, it's the style. And sometimes a formation can dictate the style, but 3-4-3 would be fine if we got hold of the ball, moved it, and played a bit of possession. But we don't. We just we hoof the ball forward. We look for mistakes. We look for free kicks. We look for set piece. We don't play possession football. You know, and that... Eric Ten Hag played 4-3-3 and it was still the problem. When is the United Stands Christmas decorations going up, says Nathan? If I'd have had time this morning and not had to sleep in, I probably would have done it. Mainu would never be able to roll the ball into Mount's path like Bruno. says Rory. How has the performance been overall? Just home from work, so could only listen. I would say first half, you'd be wanting to sack the manager. Second half, there's been a response. And Palace, I mean, maybe because they played on Thursday, have really struggled. Palace were decent in the first half, created quite a lot of chances. I don't think we've really conceded anything this. I mean, look, Man United definitely have played better in the second half. You can't argue about that. But first half, we were really bad. I said at the start of the game, set pieces were going to be key, the way that we were playing. And I think, obviously, we've seen that. But look, I think the Crystal Palace wall should do better on the Mount goal. And the Crystal Palace defence should do better on the Xerxes goal. Not to take anything away from Xerxes and Mount, but they should have done. And in some ways, I think what we spoke about in the preview has come to pass. Palace playing on a Thursday, we've taken advantage of that by upping our intensity at half-time, which we didn't do in the first half. Oh, my back's killing. I've just realised I've been stood up for the whole bloody game. I should have had a sit down at half-time. Just got to see this through now. Offside. That'll do. Who's my man of the match going to be? Well, obviously, I'm not going to reveal that until full time. Till the match reaction. I mean, it's difficult. I mean, look, certainly, I don't think De Ligt the last couple of games, as much as I've been glazing him, I don't think he's actually played that well the last couple of games. And, you know, I thought Luke Shaw did have a good first half, but he just seems to struggle in the second half. I don't know why. He seems to drop off a little bit. I think you've got to give it. To be honest with you, I don't think it's been an amazing performance from Manchester United. So I think I would have to give it to the people that have changed the game. And whether it's moments or whatever you want to call it, I think it's got to be Bruno for 2 assists, Mount for his free kick, or Xerxes. I think it has to be, because ultimately those goals have turned what was a terrible performance into what would be 3 very, very welcome points that not a lot of people were expecting. And, you know, winning when you've not played particularly well is obviously a big thing, especially against a team like Crystal Palace. So, sorry, I'm just setting up the match reaction here. Thanks to everyone who subscribed, by the way. We're really close to 218,000. We're only 10 away. So please do subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Just coming back here. I've just got to keep this as a back 6 now and defend deep if we have to. We're into the 90th minute. Let me do that. Mainu and Dorgu coming on in the 90th minute. Ahmad And Random Guy says, Delo has been good, honestly. It's a shame you have to put honestly next to it, mate, because I do agree with you. It's not been Delo's worst performance. Favourite Christmas film, says Billy. I'm looking forward to watching Home Alone. I mean, I've seen it loads of times, but I do like watching that. Looks like Palace have done a United, slept in the second half, says Mikey. Mate, I'm not making excuses for Palace, but both goals could have been preventable. And they normally do defend better than that. And they played in France on Thursday night, and it's Saturday lunchtime. So basically, you wake up Friday morning, tired from a game, and then the next day, you're playing tomorrow at lunchtime. So we've had it. We had it last season, and I think we were ridiculously harsh. I mean, remember when we beat Lyon? And it was an amazing night. And then we had to play Wolves on the Sunday. And some people, when we lost to Wolves, some people said Amrim out. And I was like, come on, it's very difficult to... It's difficult to do Thursday, Sunday. I don't get people getting mad at you. We all make mistakes. That's why they put rubbers on the end of pencils, says Zirkin. I haven't made any mistakes, mate. I haven't made any mistakes. I'll say it again on the match reaction. I'll say it again today at 8 o'clock. If you don't like it, you don't have to watch. Or if you don't like it, you can offer up an alternative. But I'm not changing anything I've said. And I'll say it all again in the match reaction. It's fine. What will you do if Southgate becomes manager of Man United? Well, results like this make it okay. Hi, Mark. Hope you're well. Can you put your player ratings in the comments, please? I'll do it on the video, Leon. Right, come on. This talking about things like it would be criminal if we don't get over the line here, and there is still 2 minutes left. As much as Palace haven't done anything second half, we've still got to deal with the ball into the box, and we have. And there might be a little bit of a break here. That's a foul on Dorgu. As happy as I am that Martinez is back, 2 subs this game, both in defence, is Emily Derry. Red Devil says Bruno makes a better brew than Mainu. Everybody beat anybody this season. It's good for us, says Michael. And how's it been, Mark? We need a win after Monday, says Crafty. Look, I think in the fan base at the moment, especially based on the team he picked in the first half, you know, it's why I said people were asking me at half time, are you hammering out? And I'm like, God, no, you know, games can change. I've seen it before. But I don't think I think there's a lot of conflict in the fan base, and I'm experienced enough to know that that's the case. You've just got to stay true to what you're about. You know, I know how I feel, and as much as I want Amrim to succeed, I've got to be honest, I don't really see a vision that's going to... Look, win the game, move on to the next one. West Ham, hopefully play better, win the game, and you start to move. Winning this game today, I think it's just 3 points, and that's great. But at some point, I think stylistically, it's just so hard to watch. I mean, this will be very interesting. I presume we've had like 60% possession today. 57, so not far off. So at least we've had a little bit more of the ball. Ooh, that's a silly foul by Casemiro, but I think he has to make it right on the edge of the box. So we just got to see this out. This is literally going to be the last kick of the game. Did Casemiro get booked for that? Because he is 1 booking away from a suspension, which would mean he wouldn't play against Wolves. I don't think he did get booked. They're lingering on him, but I don't think he got booked. Did he get booked? Have I missed that? Have they just not put the... I don't think he got booked. I don't think he did. He's got to make the foul there. He's got to make that foul there. Will Hughes is about to shoot. No, he didn't get booked. So he can play against West Ham. This is it. Straight into the wall. Wall does its job. Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle, ref. Yeah, we'll take that. 2-1 to United. Look, it's not been great, but it's a big win for Manchester United, and it puts us up to 6th place. And I'm sure the match reaction is going to be very interesting because I'm sure there's going to be some contrasting opinions. But you know me, did it with Brentford with McTominay. It was an embarrassing performance, but it's 3 points, and 3 points at the end of the day is what it's all about. And it should make you feel better. There obviously are a lot of questions for some of us. That's absolutely normal. The conversation will go on. But yeah, it's all about the win. And look, if you want to look at something very positive, look at where Man United are in the league. Sixth in the league. And whatever you want to say about that, you lose the game and you're 14th. You win the game and you're 6th. We've got to get into Europe. We've got to get into Europe, haven't we? I'll see you over on the match reaction. I think I've put that on. Let me just double check when it does it. Get your player ratings in. Who's your man of the match going to be? Will it be Delo? Will it be Bruno? We'll have to wait and see. I'll speak to you in a bit. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you over on the match reaction.